Good morning. I'm live in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Namaste today. Good morning, my friend, and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Stepº2 Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart each day and walk in the light. May I say, it is a pleasure to light walk with you again today, my friend. I'm love casting live in 5 dimensions on this beautiful temple at Gaia on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2015. And today it might be an emotional day because step 2 rules the day. Step 2 is I feel. So we're going to feel it today, and that's a good thing because your emotional state of awareness has all the information you need. It's just sometimes difficult to separate our feelings and figure out where the source of the feeling is. That's where spiritual maturity comes on earth, by knowing our feelings. So today, because we're at step 2 of Taurus, we are basically feeling, step 2, what we are manifesting, Taurus. So you may be manifesting lots of things under the sun. A new car, a job, perhaps you're trying to manifest a partnership. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest, you will feel. You'll feel the issues around it. You'll feel the fears around it. You'll feel maybe the questions around it. You'll feel it all today in step 2, I feel. But before we navigate on how to work with those emotions, let's first tame our brain, shall we? With the phrase of the day. I feel myself, and today I protect my limits. I feel myself and I protect my limits. And that's basically the safety of it all. You want to connect to your feelings, but you don't want them to go too far. So we want to be mindful of our feelings, but we want to protect our limits. So I want to go into that feeling universe, but I don't want it to go this far. I don't want it to get to anger. I don't want to get to depression. That's where you put in an emotional boundary, a step 0 that says, hey, this is where the line or the circle stops with me. It's really circles, not lines, right? So today we want to feel ourselves. We want to open up to the feelings. We don't want to deny them because when it's a step 2 day, they are blowing through our lives, right? But we want to recognize it because things break down when you ignore your feelings. But we also want to be mindful of where the limit is. So one more time, just so we have it clear. Today I feel myself and I protect my limits. Because I said so, I thought so. Now the serious step of the day is step 2. Step 2 is Cancer, or I feel. And this is when life starts to get really passionate. This is the spiritual side. When they say mind, body, and spirit, spirit is the spirit of life is our emotions. That's what we feel, the spirit of life. And we have spirit that is before life, pre-manifestation spirit, and we have post-manifestation spirit. Emotion is our post-manifestation spirit. Now looking at the architecture of incarnation, you can see as we climb the ladder, 2 becomes very important. It first comes up here in this first dimension, or Act 1, which is we're feeling out the state. So today we are feeling out our Taurus state of awareness. Later, however, in Act 2, when 2 comes up, this is when we use emotion to open up to a new world. So emotion gets us out of the situation and beyond the bridge, right? And then Act 3 is always starting with step 2. It's always emotion and emotion and. And of course, the most powerful one is when step 2 comes into step 2, step 22, which adds to a 4 quantum breakdown or breakthrough. So the emotion is, as you can see, very keen to spiritual success here on Earth. So let's look at how emotion manifests with today's color therapy. Now that we are in Taurus, we are working with the second chakra, the orange chakra, I manifest. And today, with emotion ruling the day, we're going to take a special look at the yellow chakra, which is how we feel. Now our thoughts also go through the yellow chakra, so it's thoughts and feelings that go side by side, meaning you can easily kind of disturb the baby with bad thoughts. You know, don't think bad things, like don't bum yourself out, don't take yourself there. There's no need. Because it creates that, sick stomach, which is, the yellow chakra, right? It is having literally issues between thoughts and feelings not getting along. So today you want to make sure that you are grounded. That sets you up for Taurus. Taurus is loving and trusting yourself, 10. So you love and trust. And then you open up with your feelings and you see what's going on there. Just make sure you have your limits in play. So let's look at the timing of today. with the cosmic clock. And here we are with the cosmic clock. Well, the sun has reached step 2 Taurus today. Step 2 is I feel. So we're in the first act or the first decan of the Taurus energy. We're feeling out our Taurus energy today and where our current manifestations may lie. Now, Mercury, our mind, is ahead at step 16. Step 16 adds to a 7 and is also conjuncting Mars today, which is at step 16 that adds to a 7. That means that we will open up to God consciousness, or our intuition will open when we direct our thoughts, Mercury, and our actions in the easiest flow. 6, giving and receiving. So put your thought and actions into easy flow, and that will open you up to intuition and what things are doing. So as you can see, we're living in the emotions of the first act, but we are having to do work and thought in the second act. And this is part of what can create extra drama or extra emotion in a person's life. Now, the moon is in Gemini, and that means that we are analyzing our feelings on a very high level. So it's a big picture kind of point of view with our feelings today. What's the big picture? And we will want to kind of like summarize that with a word or a phrase because it's in Gemini. We'll come up with feelings or phrases or some sort of parentheses for how we feel in a certain way. Now, Venus herself is at step 13. Step 13 is a radical step, and Venus is up in Gemini. So again, kind of with the moon, it is about that giving and receiving and what our mind thinks about giving and receiving. So it's your mind about your feelings and your mind about your giving and receiving. So if you have any doubts, check the smart ass, the mind. That's the part that might have the trouble today. And then finally, God has given us a yod today. A yod is God pointing the finger. In this case, the finger points to Pluto. Now, what makes up the yod is, on one side, we have Venus here in Gemini. So it is that giving and receiving of new ideas, opening up to new thinking. It's also giving and receiving of new connections. And on the other side, Jupiter in Leo, now direct. So the expansion of our heart's desires at step 12. So we're opening up. Step 12, we're feeling out, our heart is feeling, step 2, out of what it's normally used to and seeing if there's anything greater for love. And that's the good news here. And those both planets point to Pluto. Now, Pluto is at step 15, Capricorn. Step 15 is the point when the mind makes peace and finds balance with what? Capricorn, the rules. So it means God is saying, hey, it's time to write new rules based on mindful peace. And what you do is you take these two sides of the equation. On one side, some new ideas, and on the other side, your heart's desire. So take some new ideas and your heart's desire and invent your own rules. Now, looking at the Tower of Truth, you can see here that Mars and basically Mercury are plowing and seeding the new consciousness. So ahead, Mars is plowing and Mercury is planting little seeds like Johnny Appleseed of our future. But we are still kind of down in the dumps. So I show you this Tower of Truth because you want to shift your awareness to your thoughts about the future and shift your awareness to you plowing for the future, not so much how it sucks to be in Act 1. You know what I'm saying? And we'll talk about that, of course, in your Zodiac Weather, kind of what it's going to affect you and where that yod will affect you. But before we do, let's keep it simple, shall we, and sum it up with today's Joy Quest. Your Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is just feel good being you. In fact, this ties into an emotional mantra I have to check your emotions. You can say, I feel good about myself, I feel good about my life. Well, today we're in the early stages of Taurus, so just feel good being you. Just feel good being you. You don't have to feel good about the taxes, you don't have to feel good about the job, you don't have to feel good about anything else. Just feel good about being you today. That's the only goal you have to have, and keep it clear. I think it will keep you on your path. Also helping you on your path in my personal Sensei network, for those who subscribe to Sirius Joy, I'll be texting you at 9:09, telling you where your heart will maybe be a little oversensitive to emotion today. Then at 11:11 a.m., I will text you what state of awareness are you emotionally blind to. So we all are blind to one state of awareness, one where our feelings don't pick up on right away, and they may disturb our feelings, but we don't know what we're feeling. So I will basically give you your emotional blind spot. And then at 3:03 p.m., I will text you where in your life does emotional eclipse occur. So where does the eclipse end up happening? You're blinded here and it ends up doing this. You're blinded there and it ends up doing that. That'll be at 3:03 p.m. your local time. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me right now, I am doing an awesome sale. If you buy a 1-hour reading, you'll get a 30-minute follow-up that you can use until August 31st. For more details, navigate to soulmart.me. So for today's telepathy, we're moving on to new topics. We're looking at Tauruses. Close your eyes. In the following statement, I am picturing in today's telepathy a famous Taurus dictator. A famous Taurus dictator. So you raise a Taurus wrong, they will come up and be a dictator. Which dictator am I sending to you right now? Is it number 1, Adolf Hitler, number 2, Saddam Hussein, or number 3, Pope John Paul II? And before you laugh, hey, he was a dictator, he was just a good dictator. I'm beaming one to your head right now. Which of the 3 is it? I'll have the answer right after this. Are you tired of being codependent? Have you ever wondered why you're always cheating? Why do you have to always mother everyone you date? I understand. The biggest problem usually is people choose the wrong person. Are you ready to find out the truth? Yes. In just one video, you'll understand what you're looking for in love and what you offer. You send us your date of birth, we send you a custom video that's all about you. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste Today. So for the answer to today's telepathy, I was sending to your temple an image of a Taurus dictator. Was it 1, Adolf Hitler, 2, Saddam Hussein, or Pope John Paul II, number 3, a good dictator? And the answer was Hitler, of course. I've always been fascinated with Hitler just because he was such an industrious Taurus that was so wrong, right? The only way he knew how to unite the country was by making someone else at fault. That is primitive ways of handling business. So extremely spiritually primitive, that man. A step 0 Taurus, if you don't know. But still, his ability to manifest and bring the country out of nothing still was pretty impressive. The industrial and all the manifestation and all the bigness. If they'd only been for good. I mean, can you imagine? So Taurus gone wrong. Don't beat your children. That's what can happen. Huh? Let's move on to today's rock and roll gospel. Love, laughter, and song is so important to personal serious joy. And today we are looking at Taurus musicians. I'm going to pull out a big card here out of the deck. And today is going to be Bono of U2. A Taurus. I didn't even know that myself till I looked this up. But yes, Bono has manifested and manifested and manifested. Born May 10th, which makes him a step 19 Taurus. Now that's a Grandmaster step, and he is a Grandmaster, I would say, as far as being a part of music that is catchy and worldwide appeal for a long time, decades. So fascinating information about Bono there. And one other thing, if you want to know what the Grandmaster steps of Taurus are, it's step 10, step 19, and step 28. Basically, any of the steps that add to step 10, I manifest. That's what makes it Grandmaster. But before you, I forgot to say one thing. What song do we pick? And here's the song. So we have Bono, and here's the song. The song is, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Right? And I think that's how people may feel today. You still may feel like you haven't found what you're looking for, and you may be exploring. So let U2 pave that way, right? You've climbed the highest mountains, blah, blah, blah. The lyrics are really quite good. And listen to your U2 to kind of understand that we all are on that search, my friend. But before you go off thinking about what you're still waiting for, let's take a look at the moves of each of your brothers and sisters today. And we'll be also looking at what God's Yod is pointing to. That's the little extra bonus today. What is God's Yod pointing to with that Pluto? Starting with the Scorpios. Step 0, the Scorpios. Cloudy with a chance of temper tantrums today. It's an emotional day, and you're very sensitive with this moon in Gemini. But God's Yod is pointing to think differently. Step 1, the Leos. Sunny and passionate today. God's Yod pointing to change your daily work habits, all right? So that's what it's time to do. Step 2, the Cancers, those who rule step 2 themselves, right? Sunny and sort of blah today. But God is pointing to change your long-term relationship rules. Okay, so change the rules in long-term relationships. Step 3, the Sagittarius. Cloudy chance of love issues today. God's yod is pointing for you to change your values, what you're valuing and what you're not. Step 4, the Aquarians. Cloudy chance of inner child tantrums today. God's yod is pointing for you to change your faith. So you have to change your faith, I think, if you're not feeling good. Step 5, the Gemini. Sunny and cool today with the moon in their sign. But God's yod is pointing for you to change your comfort zones. So what your comfort zones are need to change. Step 6, the Librans. Sunny and very passionate today, I think, especially about ideas. But God's yod is pointing for you to change the way you respond to your feelings. So just respond to your feelings differently, says God's yod. Step 7, the Pisces. Sunny, nesting, and resting today. But God is pointing for you to change your social context. So basically trade out from emotional attachments to the wrong sorts of people or the wrong sorts of neighborhoods. Just where you don't feel like you belong, don't be there. Don't have to do God's service for everyone. Step 8, the Capricorns. Sunny and hyper aware of their reality and health today. But God's yod is telling you to change your behavior. All right, change your behavior. Step 9, the Aries. Sunny and pensive today. But God's yod is pointing for you to change your decision making, either the way you make decisions or maybe make a new choice or change or flip a decision. Step 10, the Tauruses, the birthday Tauruses. Sunny and manifesting today in the world of manifestation. God's yod is pointing for you to change your life's meaning. So it's time to upgrade your meaning and step away from antiquated beliefs. And finally, step 11, the Virgos. Sunny and quite passionate and professional today. But God's yod is pointing for you to change your heart's response. So when something goes away you don't like, respond in your heart differently than you normally do. If you normally respond by going, yeah, try something different. All right? And let's move us on to the Lightwalker Parade. Well, first of all, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. It helps us with our relationship with them. And on Facebook, you can be our friend by navigating to soulgarden.me. And if you'd like to purchase a reading, 1 hour plus a 30-minute free, come on down to soulmart.me. And I will say, as always, I am so grateful for you and grateful for you watching. And I will say the highest respect you can pay me is to share this show with your friends, particularly when they're ready to kind of open up and see things a little differently. That's the greatest thing you could do to honor me, and I honor you. Thank you so much. I will see you in 24 hours with more. Remember, my friend, I love you, and live life. This is just so ironic.
So